For generations, Philippine education has followed a traditional model, which is passive classrooms where students listen, teachers lecture. This one-size-fits-all approach fails to recognize that children learn differently, especially those with special needs. But what if we move beyond outdated teaching methods and embrace a more inclusive approach to learning? What if every child then begins to learn in a way that best suited their individual needs and differences?
To ensure all students reach their potential, teachers must acknowledge diverse learning styles and provide necessary support for students with learning difficulties.
As a person with low vision or with a visual disability, it's actually difficult for me to see or read visual and reading materials or what was being written on the board, but somehow I can still catch up with everybody. I like how our teachers often make some environmental modifications of materials and teaching techniques to meet my needs, like adjusting my seat and giving me printed handouts of our lessons with bigger fonts so I can easily follow the discussions.
I have this speech disorder. I do stutter a lot, and I can't help prolonging sounds. I tend to push a lot while speaking, making such involuntarily head jerking or blinking a lot, but I love how my teacher and my classmates are patient and kind to me. They always makes me feel supported, especially teacher. She often give me time to finish talking before responding. It may sound shallow, but I feel I was being included and understood by everyone.
Our teachers have established a set of rules that promote equality, like rules dealing with respect for everyone, regardless of sex and gender. I like how she treated and disciplined us, me with no biases.
Yes, I agree. I love how our teacher always disciplined us fairly. Like one time, there was a major accident in the class. Someone broke the window because of playing volleyball inside the classroom. Our teacher found out and he literally talked with all of us without calling names, even though it was a girl who unintentionally broke the window. But he disciplined everyone because in the first place, why would people play volleyball inside the classroom, right?
Instead of segregating students with special needs into separate classrooms, many educators advocate for mainstreaming them into regular classrooms.
We call these students exceptional learners. They may have cognitive, behavioral, social, physical, or sensory challenges, or even exceptional gift. Inclusive classroom designed to be as close as a typical learning environment as possible are often the best settings for them.
In inclusive classrooms, students with disabilities learn alongside their peers with support from teachers and appropriate aids. But what does an inclusive classroom truly look like?
Let's meet Teacher Ann, a dedicated educator who advocates for inclusion.
Well, as for me, inclusion means everyone plays, learns, and grows together. That every child participates fully, enjoying typical childhood experiences. And I work hard to make this happen, even discussing the value of diversity with parents, as I believe that the most powerful learning happens when children learn from each other.
Teacher Ann acknowledges that teaching diverse students requires significant patience and dedication. She emphasizes the importance of understanding learning diversity and individual differences for all educators.
We do more than just give students information. To help them learn, we need to understand how they learn best. This means knowing about their learning problems, what they want to achieve, how they learn differently, and even how being a boy or a girl might affect their learning. So then we can find the best way to teach them.
We often see four main types of learning challenges or exceptionalities. Learning disabilities can make it hard for kids to learn basic skills, things like listening, speaking, reading, writing, or math. Next, we had the communication problems. Means they have trouble understanding others or expressing themselves. And next, we had the intellectual disabilities. This affects how well they learn and how they get along with others. And lastly, we had the behavior disorders. Behavior disorders are serious, ongoing behavior problems that can cause trouble at school and home.
Have you ever encountered a situation in your years of being a teacher wherein you have to deal with a learner or a student having one of these so-called exceptionalities?
Well, yes, it happened on my very first day of teaching, and I had a student with a mild hearing loss, not deaf, but needing extra help. And I was really nervous at first, wondering if I could handle it, especially since all the kids were different. But I know that it was my responsibility, so I made sure that I do my best to help him.
I am really grateful to have teacher and to be part of an inclusive classroom. Teacher did many strategies to accommodate me and my difficulties throughout the class, like making me sit close to her so I could hear better, repeating instructions clearly, and using lots of pictures and visual aids to help me. Having hearing impairment, it's really hard for me to cope with the class, but thanks to teacher for looking for ways to include me.
Throughout the process, what did you realize upon dealing with exceptional learners?
Well, I've learned a lot, but one important thing is about labels. Exceptional learners include students who are gifted, have intellectual disabilities, physical disabilities, learning disabilities, visual impairments, speech problems, or even autism. So the question is how we address them in all situations. If we focus only on the label, for example, the deaf student, we risk stereotyping and missing their unique strengths and needs. So we should focus on their individual needs and abilities, not just their disability.
Teacher Ann had two main points about labels. One, people come before labels, and two, avoid making people equal to the disability. She said we should always remember the person, not just the label, and the disability should make someone seem less important or less able to learn. She believes all students should have equal opportunities to learn and succeed. There are many aspects of a child's life affected by learning disabilities. Because they have trouble learning in typical ways, they fall behind in school. This makes it even harder for them to learn new things, creating a cycle of difficulty.
I see it in my classroom every day. A student might understand a concept we're discussing, but the act of writing it down or even remembering it for a test becomes a major hurdle. They might be brilliant, but the learning disability acts as a barrier.
Learners with learning disabilities often face challenges like keeping up with class, explaining their needs, or remembering information. But early support can make a huge difference. Specialized teaching, assistive technology, and a supportive classroom can help the students thrive.
I realized decades ago that students learn differently based on their gender. but did not know enough to help each student reach their full potential. My training taught me that every student is an individual. After learning about boys' and girls' brain, I realized how different those brains are. As a result, I was able to find the missing component. My training allowed me to teach each child based on their individual brain differences. It amazes me now that teachers didn't teach the differences between the learning styles of boys and girls.
While we consider all student needs, it's important to remember that boys and girls may learn differently. Some boys prefer hands-on activities while some girls prefer group work. Some boys communicate directly while some girls are more collaborative. Teachers should use a variety of teaching methods, but always remember, every child is an individual, so avoid making assumptions based on gender.
Regardless of gender, students must be addressed and disciplined equally. It is vital for us teachers to be aware of instances where male students insult female students and vice versa. They should receive the same discipline for the same actions. This way, both genders will feel supported.
Teachers play a vital role in understanding their students' needs. Working together, parents, teachers, and students themselves are essential for students with special needs. By understanding each student's needs, challenges, goals, learning styles, and even gender differences, teachers can make a real difference. Learning disabilities affect how children learn, so understanding their individual needs is the first step in helping them succeed. This is the Teacher's Notebook, and together we can make a difference.